Another update after a while. Sorry, I was really busy. We actually started to tidy up, as you can see. All these engines were spread all across the floor. We couldn't even walk on it. So yeah, believe it or not, these are actually 5 engines. There's a vr6 with the DSG gearbox. There's a vr5, 1.8 20 valve, another vr5. That one is actually built for boost. 6-speed transmission manual. VR5. This is Steve's next project, VR5 Turbo. That I have to build. Well, I want to build a nice intake plenum out of this VR6 plenum. Because yes, you can adapt the VR6 plenums to the VR5s aftermarket. You have to chop it because literally is one missing cylinder, so one of these has to go. This is a pretty crappy plenum. We've done a mistake. We paid a lot of money for it, and then we had to pay taxes of it on top, import duty taxes and all that stuff, and it turned out to be way more expensive than it's actually worth. But the good thing is that I've tested it, as you can see, and the aluminium, the cast is actually pretty clean, so I can work on this stuff. It was pretty decent, so I can based from this I can build one, because if I have to build the runners and all the stuff from scratch, it's gonna take ages. I don't want to do it because I don't have the time. But with this now I can improve this massively, so that's probably what we're gonna do. Anyways, that's not the reason of the update. The update is that the MR2 is ready. Well, actually no, it's not completely finished. We have to put the charge cooler radiator and a couple of hoses and a couple of bits, but it's just a day worth of work. Everything else is done. I've tested it, and yeah, she's really good. And by the way, she's sold. The guy popped down this morning. He was the first one. He didn't know he was the first guy. He told me he was ready to pay more money to be considered the first one who's gonna view it and potentially buy it. But he didn't know that he didn't have to do it, because he was the one that we promised. He's the first one that has the right to pop down, have a look on that, and then buy it if he wants to. Which this is exactly what he did. And like we predicted with Steve, these cars now, they pretty much sell before they actually finished. Like I said before, there were a lot of people asking for these cars to be actually built to sell, because with this conversion, with these engines, this is exactly what I think the MR2 is lacking of, a proper engine. The standard ones is unreliable. It's not very powerful. Well, it probably has 2 horsepower. Okay, I'm exaggerating obviously, but you know what I mean. It's not great. These cars really, want a better engine. And there were many people who were considering buying MR2, but because of the crappy engine, it's like, well, I dismiss the idea because it's not really that great. But now with this option, and this, I'm gonna come back to this option in a minute, because it's not just option, it's options. It's completely different. It flipped the coin completely, because these people now considering actually to buy an MR2. They don't have it yet. They consider buy it because they know they can have it with the good engines, but they will have to go and look for a clean one, like mine or that one, whatever. You have to, find one, travel, negotiate your price, blah blah, bring it back home. If it's not MOT, you have to put it on the trailer or recovery truck, whatever. It's a hassle. So a lot of people message us and asking if we ever gonna build them and sell them, because they would be interested. And that was actually a big surprise, because it wasn't one person, it wasn't 2 people. It was actually quite a lot of inquiries about that. So I've decided, okay, let's do it. And as we predicted, they do sell before they are finished. So that's already gone. I'm very sorry that a lot of people are disappointed, because there were a lot of people in the queue to buy it. But we promised the first person who messaged us, we promised him that he's going to be the first one to buy it, to view it. And this is exactly what happened. And he popped down today and said, okay, I'm buying this. I don't want to risk that you're going to say to someone else, I'm paying for the car now, the car is mine, and finish it, whatever, and you have time to finish it, which is only going to be a few days. Back to us, the next one we're gonna build, because we already have the next one, the next car, which is same color as that one, but even cleaner. That is clean. The next one is even cleaner. Very low mileage, is very, very good. Then the next one is pretty much the same setup as this. Now, obviously, you know I'm using Frog, my car, to mock up a couple of things, sort out a couple of electrics and all the stuff, because vr6, vr5 engines, they were still in a process of prototyping, but now we have everything. Now we have the engine mounts sorted, the front one, the rear one, both sides, electrics. Obviously, this is way more intrusive as a modification, but because the engine goes inside the car, and not by much, you could probably massage the bulkhead, if you want to call it so, quite a bit, but it will probably fit. But obviously, that's not the way to do it, because you know you want to live with the car as well. You want to be able to service the engine. You want to be able to access the parts, troubleshooting if you have any. You know, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna put a cover like I don't know if you remember Renault Clios, the V6, the rear engine ones. They have a nice cover on the top of the engine. We're gonna do something very similar, very nice, flogged or whatever. You know, once you remove the cover, you actually have the access the same way you see it here. Obviously, the battery is not gonna be here. This is here just for me for testing with electrics and playing. But yeah, everything's going to be enclosed. Once you remove the cover, you have access to everything. The plugs, the plenum, you can remove it. There's a way to do it. The alternator, you pump, you alternator belt, injectors, well, everything, all on the engine. So complete service, not a problem. Obviously, partially is done from inside the car, which actually is pretty cool if you want to see it that way. Of course, it's bigger. It's slightly heavier than the 1.8, slightly, because we were expecting much bigger difference in weight, but it's actually not that bad. So this is good. It still feels okay. This is the standard. It's actually not even bolted. Plenty of space here. So it feels actually very, very nice. This engine is much more forward, sitting forward. Engine is actually there. This is the plenum, so don't mistake it. The engine starts from there. So quite a lot forward towards the car than the 1.8, and this is well, I think the difference in weight is going to be compensated by the weight distribution. We've been through this already. If you haven't seen the previous videos, go have a look. I'll explain this already. So yeah, this is good. Now this setup is going to stay NA. We're not going to put a turbo on this. We're going to leave it NA, because again, these engines are quite powerful and powerful enough, and we found out that about 250 up to 280 brakes is a very good balance for the MR2, for daily use, for a fun car, etc., because whoever drove different cars, bigger cars, heavy cars with 250 brakes or 300 brakes may think that 300 brakes is not enough. I'm telling you, in MR2 they feel way different. You have to experience an MR2, such a light car with so much brake horsepower, and you'll be like, okay, yes, you're right, this feels much more. Again, this today is a bit damp. It's kind of, it's not damp, kind of damp, not wet, damp, kind of greasy a little on the tarmac. We went testing. We went out around the block testing the car with the guy who bought it, and there was a wheel spin interfered at probably 3,000 RPMs. You know, the moment the turbo goes on, because they're very, very torquey. So again, it all depends what tires you're using. The surface is very damp, so you know, it doesn't take much to actually wheel spin in this surface. Anyways, this engine is all good. Let me just, I should fire up, because if the battery is not dead, all the systems are good. There we go. So yes, this engine now is gonna go out of the Frog, my car, because now is everything sorted, ready to go out, and Steve is gonna clean it and probably paint it. He's very good at, you know, doing all the small details on these engines. I don't have a patience for that, so he's better doing that, because if he doesn't do it, it will never be done. Because like I said, I don't have a patience for that. I don't have a patience for the technical stuff, fabrication, but cleaning this stuff, no, it's wasting time for me. But no, it should be cleaned because, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, because these cars are sold before they're actually finished, and this is pretty much the prediction with all of them, if you really want to secure one of these cars that we're building, because we're making videos of everything, showing you guys everything, the way it's built, blah blah blah, you know, just put a good deposit on it if you want to secure the car. Do not wait till it's MOT, till it's done, till it's on the road as that one, because again, take example of that one there, that's been sold before it's actually finished, and the person who bought it actually was, I think, 2 weeks now. We wanted to buy it 2 weeks ago. We refused. I said, no, just wait. You know, I want to take you out in that. But to secure the place, I would say put a good deposit on it, secure it is yours, because there are much more people disappointed from that car because they haven't bought it. That people are happy with it because only one person can buy it. Obviously, it's one car. So I think that's a good idea. Obviously, this is not going to be the same money, first of all, because the chassis itself, the base is cleaner, is more valuable, there's more work, the engine is more exotic, this whole setup is more, there's more work, is more expensive. Also, we are planning to improve the handling of the car a little bit. Not hugely, but we think we're going to put lowering springs, we're going to lower the car a little, and we're going to put some nice rims like we did on mine. I don't think we're going to put the same wheels as this, well, although I don't know. We're going to have to make a decision of that. Some bigger rubber, some bigger tires, because we want more grip, and possibly at least real anti-roll bar. Those anti-roll bars, they actually make quite a big difference in MR2s once you put bigger rubber, because if you have more grip on the standard ones, standard tires, standard anti-roll bar is fine usually, because you start sliding before rolling too much. But once you have more grip from the tires, the car doesn't slide anymore as much, but it starts to roll a little bit more. So we've seen that the handling is improved once you put anti-roll bars, at least on the back. I got the rear and the front one. And I don't know, obviously you're going to be refreshed. Same stuff we done with that one. If there's anything to do with the chassis, we have to do it. If there's any superficial rust, which we already know on the new one we have for this setup, there's no rust whatsoever. But again, with all of them, we're going to clean it, conserve it, so there's not going to be any rust in the future. Well, not in 100 years, but you know what I mean. Ball joints, arms, bearings, brakes, discs, calipers, anything that is wrong with the car, we're not 100% happy, we refresh everything. So when you pick up the car, you know it's spot on 100%. Plus obviously the engine, all the systems works as factory, like we said already. So yeah, that's a good rant, but I think Steve is gonna finish his today. It's not much to do. We've done the electrics, a bit of tidy up, refit the boost pipes, and I think he's ready to go. So yeah, the 1.8 I think is the best combination. It's the best result for the money, I think. I still prefer that. Manual. There you go. Anyways, that's enough of me for today. And yeah, I'll see you probably when we're gonna start building the next one with this setup, which is gonna be, I would say next week, but again, it's Christmas, so it's gonna be just after Christmas. See you soon.